The first time me and Mr. Raymond went to court, it was a weird experience because the whole time while I was on my way to court, there was somebody calling me that sounds like Mr. Raymond and talking to me on the phone, talking me through the process of going to court. And they basically didn't want me to tell my side of the story, but I really don't have a choice. Um, the whole ordeal of even knowing about the situation is becoming unbearable, and it's taking a lot of time away from my life to where it's I can't have fun or have freedoms as if it's a normal person that I am. Um, in 2012, when we first went to court, Mr. Raymond showed up to court and he sat with John C. Mayu, who was his attorney at the time for the case. They explained to me nothing. They didn't really tell me why I was in court. And I just showed up because there was a hearing date set. And on that hearing date, they wanted me to answer to the fact that I had a petition out for a protection order. I I only came to that residence because I was invited to that residence. It wasn't like I was just showing up simultaneously without permission. Somebody was inviting me to his house. And it is a problem because if this can happen to me, it can happen to anyone. Now, when I did show up at the house, Usher's aunt let me in the house. Usher's grandmother let me in the house, who was alive at that time. Her name was Ernestine Carter. And then his aunt was in the house, who served me a glass of water, named Rena Oden. Um, they set me down, asked me questions. I told them the truth. And yeah, they called the police on me, thinking that I was somebody that I wasn't. And it was very disheartening because I gave them the honest truth about everything. And the crazy thing about it is, um, it made me look like I was a criminal. Now, I would not grow up and continue going to school if I was going to turn around and do something that would make somebody feel like I would harm them. I stated in the last video that I know I was victimized because, regardless of the fact that I did show up at the house, I had no clue that I could get in trouble for following text. Now, my situation is the court system is not on anyone's side. They do take into account the person that petitions for a protection order. However, if you are trying to resolve something without the court system um, thinking that you are a criminal, they don't want to take your case to trial. I tried and I fought hard to take my case to trial, and they ultimately dismissed it, which is fine. But what is not fine is for it to be lingering over my head 10, 12 years, 20 years after it's happened. Now, there is a permanent protection order that Mr. Raymond has against me in Georgia, which I didn't know affected my abilities to go to the concerts. Um, it really made me think about everything that's going on not being able to go to the concert because I am an artist, I'm a musician, and I really wanted to have that connection because I need that to advance to another level in being able to be a live performer. Um, like I said, the courts didn't want to hear anything that I had to say, and ultimately, I feel like they turned Mr. Raymond further against me because they didn't let me have a trial. Now, I'm using my platform because I feel like I need to say what I have to say. In all those years that I had to sit inside of a hospital trying to fight for my freedom, I struggled and I suffered every day. I did not appreciate the treatment that I was given. I was tormented in that hellhole of a hospital that they had me in, and I gained over 150 pounds, and I'm still struggling to get it off. I am upset, not that the case was ultimately dismissed, but that I was not heard because it would have vindicated me, it would have cleared my name had I had my day in court. The courts take your petition, but they do not listen. They are not interested in what you have to say if you are not a celebrity or if you are not rich. So it is a problem if you are someone who does not have money. And just because I don't have money does not mean I lied about anything that I did, I said. I still have every text message that has been sent for the last 2.5 years, proving that somebody either has been using his name or I have been texting the real person, whether they have closed down that account or not. I have the text stating that there was somebody contacting me by the name of Usher Raymond Fort. The picture is alongside of the person who is texting me with the name. And like I said, when I went to court, they're like, don't buy no more of his music, don't support him, and don't purchase nothing, don't go to his concerts, don't do this and don't do that. But they gave no resolve to how it can be put to rest in a way that made it look like we're not enemies. I am not this man's enemy. Like I said, I don't know how I got myself into this, and I'm really concerned for anybody else who has dealt with a situation where they feel like they have been scammed. I have worked my ass off my whole entire life to try to get to a point where I can become a celebrity. And I am not at that stage yet because I have had these encounters with the law because of um, the case with Mr. Raymond. And I don't know the situation of rap beef or industry beef, but I don't want any part of that. I just needed the connection that it brought because besides being in love with Mr. Raymond, I actually need to turn over my music for the industry the correct way. And the only way that I knew how to do that was to go through Mr. Raymond, who said he'd help me